customer is not the retail customer. Your customer is that company that's going to buy it to incorporate into your product. But you have to be able to demonstrate that there's an advantage to the ultimate end user, which would be the retail customer. So you need to always address who your customer is. And then, different than that, who's the end user. They're not always the same. And how does the buyer go about to make the decision? It's not likely you're going to develop a product that you're going to sell directly to the retail customer, although with the internet we know that's all possible. But you need to know, how does the buyer go about to make the decision? How will you differentiate your product? Describe the competition, why you differentiate. What's the size of the market ultimately everybody has to come down to? And here's a common mistake. Let's pick a product. You're going to come out with a new type of t-shirt. And you look it up and you say, the worldwide market for t-shirts is $12 billion. And you say, all I have to do is get 1% of that market from a very big company. You get an F. Don't even think about it. That's how you're going to come up with the size of the market. You could, on the other hand, come up and say, in the United States, in the southeastern United States in particular, there are X number of t-shirts sold with these kind of characteristics, and we're going to meet this one little sliver in here that is really unique, and our total market might be $4 million. That you start getting ahead, because you finally figured out what your actual market is. But this effort to come in with a gigantic market and say you get 1%, just doesn't ever cut it. Now, you also need to know what are the risks of being wrong. We're going to talk about that a little bit further. What are the risks of you figuring out that you have a market of $100 million when in fact it's only $1 million, or certainly $4.0? What are those risks? And then what I'm asking you to do is run a sanity check of some actual business. Carrie's going to hate it when I tell her to go to Carrie and she'll find somebody for you to talk to. But talk to somebody on the outside world. Your judges will be business people on the outside world. Don't be discouraged when they're negative. In fact, they're almost always like that. But you have to listen to it, understand why they might be negative. Don't be discouraged. You still have to take it seriously and check it out. Talk to several people. And I like to talk about predictions for the future, which is what your business plan is going to do, are opinions. Okay. Keep that in mind. Opinions may be wrong, and in most entrepreneurial cases, they are wrong. They almost always show, well, we're going to have $50 million in revenues in 50 years. Maybe 1 out of 1,000, or even less than that, might actually achieve it. So, but that's an opinion. You hope to have assumptions and a basis for that, but it's always key. It's always key. So, market research. You have a very limited time and resources to do this, that's understandable. So, you typically have to go to whatever data sources are readily available. You can't very well speculate and send out surveys. But you need to gather data. You can find white papers or studies on what you're getting ready to do. That's dynamite. Not likely, but it is dynamite. And there are some good sites to try to find those. Stanford Ventures, Stanford University, there's a lot of information and links to a number of things. Anecdotal evidence, just going around and asking people, is weak, but it's better than not doing. Some data from the government. The government puts out a census of business every 10 years. It might be every 5. It always lags, of course, by 3 years. So it's sort of old data, but they've got really good data. How many, for instance, how many refrigerators were bought in the standard metropolitan area of Orlando 3 years ago? I can assure you the government knows that. And it's available to you if that's something you think you can do. That is very good data. It tends to be old, 3 years old, but you can extrapolate if your product or service is good to that. Trade associations for the different kinds of products and services always has good data. Your challenge is ever to get them actually to give you some because you're not members of the trade association. But as students, you often can get things that nobody else can get. Let's say you're a student at home, blah, 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 and some people will actually give you stuff that they won't hear that the other people. So the judges will be impressed with the credibility of the data sources that you have about the size of your market. That's what you're primarily doing. Now sometimes, and it's almost always, you'll come up with a product and say there's no competition. No, don't ever say that. It's not, can't possibly be true. There may be no direct competition, but there's bound to be indirect competition. And there's a message, by the way, when you say there's no competition. There's likely to be a market. It's typically why there's no competition. Your best way typically to come up with a market is to say our product is similar to this product, but better or different, blah, blah, and here's how much this product is selling next year. That's a pretty good way to have some pretty reliable data, but then you have to say how your product differs, why you're going to get a piece of that market. So often the best data you get is data on a similar product, not the one that you're doing. So you can use focus groups. I would urge you to try to do that. Take an afternoon, pull together, and here's the problem, is pull together actual potential buyers. And if you're going to sell to an intermediary, such as an original equipment manufacturer, you may not have the ability to do that. If you're going to sell an ultimate retail, you should have your students to figure out what you're doing. But they have to be potential buyers or potential users of the product to get some useful data. And you can call competition like that. You can call salespeople from Oracle or somebody like that and tell them you're stupid. And often they'll give you data. They'll tell you we don't serve this particular market, it's too small for us. We absolutely dumbfounded what kind of data you can get just by asking you when you say you're a student. You don't have to lie. Like I said, you're doing a business plan for and they'll give you data often. Yeah, you'll be surprised how willing you might be. So, you are trying to prove the validity of your market, because that's the most impressive thing that you're going to have in your business plan for church. To be able to prove the validity of your market. And you have to convince the judges you're not controlling the competition. If you take a commodity product head on and say you're going to sell it at a lower price, you will be killed. No judge will ever believe you. Don't ever think you take on a big company or a purely competitive market like a commodity market and you're saying I'm going to sell it at a lower price. Bigger companies can always sell at a price lower than you. The judges will know that easily. And you have to determine your pricing strategy as part of this. Often you say, oh, I have features in my product that other products like this don't have, so I can charge 40% more. Be very careful. You're better off charging the same price as the other product, but having better features. That is going to be more competitive. Now, there are views, and you know this from marketing, that price sends a signal. Sometimes you can price products higher than you otherwise think they're going to sell at. It's a message of high quality, something special, blah, blah, blah. Be really careful. Young companies start seldom, if ever, can actually accomplish that. So if you want to have a competitive price with more features, that's usually the better strategy. So once you've done that, you're ready. I'm going to